Alright, so here we are. Today is a hiking day, which is something I'm not good at anymore, but I used to tromp all over the place, especially in the years after I first got here. I trespassed on other people's lands and checked out where I was, which is alright. People around here cross across people's properties. So I'm going to meet a guy here at 9. It's about 15 minutes. And I've got my GPS. I've also got my phone, which has a GPS in it. I've loaded maps into both. Not maps where you can see stuff, but maps of what I put into the GPSs. And the goal is to explore all this property up here, although that's not all going to happen today. Especially since I'm really not as limber as I used to be. So I'm in my Barranca at the road crossing, and our goal is to get to this other guy's land, and then as a sub goal it's to map out where the barrancas are and find a dry falls. This barranca here goes up this way. There's a tiny almost barranca that goes that way. If you follow my barranca up, it's really cool actually up there. There's some cool rocky places and places that can be made into pools and things. And then it splits at some point. I remember this. This is over 10 years ago. It splits, and the left side goes to the dry falls, and the right side goes right through La Zarzamora, a little town. The other barranca in question is the one by this guy's land. And his land actually is a really good crossing place. So if we can get up in that direction, then we can still cross into his land. That'd be a good thing to know about, because that's also the most direct walking route from his place to my place. Also, I met a neighbor of mine over there the other day, and he crosses down somewhere through there, all the way down on the south side. I don't know where that trail's even at, but it would be good to know about that trail as well. So, I guess I'm just going to wait for this guy. I've got water on me. Too bad it's not beer, but I don't feel like carrying beer. And I got my machete, my really cool machete with a case on it. Yeah, cool machete. And I've also brought a sharpening stone for the machete, because if you end up using it a lot, they get pretty dull. Now I hope not to use it, because there's already a trail that goes here on this side of the barranca, because cutting through the barranca is a pain in the ass. That is a task for another day. And so this is a big bunch of land up there, way bigger than mine. It's got 3 owners or more up there. I do not know that, and that is a question of, okay, so why am I going to cross across other people's land? Well, it's just not that uncommon here. And, you know, I have fantasies about building a whole big eco-village all over this whole thing. Like, I don't know how big Auroville in India is, but really big. And I was wondering about that. Like, what do I do with folks that want to cross through? Well, I want to build roads on it anyway. And ultimately, those could be public roads. But I do want to set up essentially walled off or gated communities within that. Because people are going to have to enter it for deliveries anyway. And it could be that there are businesses located within it. But I don't know. I still like the idea of making fairly reserved, out-of-the-way places. So I think maybe just make private roads through it. And then give some people permission to pass through. Still building it probably with the intention that we might lose control. And that there could be public thoroughfares through there. And certainly any spaces that we have a road through, we should make that space reserved as big enough that it could even have a 3-lane road through it. There is no reason to cram shit together, which is a normal design flaw in many places. But instead set aside large park areas and even wall off the park areas, and have certain communities have access to those. I guess I like the idea of private land, but if it's fully privately owned land, then it can be sold to anyone, and you have no way to decide who you want in your communities or not. So I would rather have them be run by nonprofits, which are not that expensive to run. I mean, people down on the coast have these fidelisimos or whatever they are, they're trusts, land trusts, so they don't really even own their land. They're leasing it through a bank. And they have to pay that bank every year just for the right to exist. So there are overhead costs to having nonprofits, it's true. You have to file taxes and things and do other stuff. And even if it was a U.S.-based nonprofit, nonprofits here work very differently, but would still have to be registered here to own land here, probably. I'm not actually sure of that. I got lots of legal questions about things. But there's no way to avoid it. And it doesn't make sense to have a whole bunch of people own small lots, and they all have to do this paperwork. They all have to file taxes on it and stuff, instead of just having one big one. And even then you still have to have internal work, but that's all on site with people we know, and it protects the space better. Kind of like they have a lot of communal land around here, actually, the ejidos and things like that, and those manage to run somehow, largely just through tradition, because somebody has rights to use a piece of land for a while, and then where's this guy at? Maybe I'll walk over that direction. There's some danger that I'll miss him. Like, what if he decided to walk down through the woods trying to get to here? That'd be silly, since we're supposed to meet here and then go up. And it's easier to walk uphill than downhill. You're more likely to fall down walking downhill. So I'd rather walk downhill on more known places. And I'm not sure how much we're going to have to bushwhack this. The goal, rather than bushwhack it, I think should be to discover what trails already exist, and then, kind of get the lay of the land as it is before making bigger plans about how it could be. I mean, ultimately we would want a drone in here and drone map this entire thing, and then lay things out, not where people started walking through it 100 years ago, but where it makes sense to have things be, and determine magical spots and determine microclimates, and especially all the barrancas. Pretty much all the barrancas should be park, because they have special water flow issues, and also crossing points. We can build crossing points through them. A bigger design would be smart, because, I mean, it's really undeveloped forest anyway. All that's happened here is it's gotten cut down a few times, and it grows back. And also we could think about wildlife, and fairly large wildlife preserves within it, because we've got a road around it, right? And so we should have fewer roads within it. I still like the idea of one-way roads. I don't like the idea of two-way roads at all. But if we're going to do one-way roads, then we have to do even better planning so people can actually get to where they want. And then we don't have to have them be 3-lane roads, but we should set aside the space. I guess the future is unknown. I mean, I expect the collapse of civilization, So I expect less people around, but it could be that this place is all food forest with full rain capture, and it's the ideal place to be. And I would like to design it as that. All solar, no outside power. And, you know, I only have 80 acres here. I have 83 acres. And the total size of this whole thing is 1,000 acres or something. It's a lot more. Actually, it'll only be like 10 times more. No, it's bigger than that. It's big. But each spot is different. And so we need to learn about spots, decide where to protect, decide how to connect it up. And it could be pretty amazing. And I'm especially interested in contour roads that take you far without going up and down. And that's because I want to have, rather than a car culture, in which case it doesn't matter if you go up and down that much, I want a cart culture, a bicycle culture. I want to be able to go far with using less energy. And that changes absolutely the kind of grid design that you would normally see in a place. It changes the design of the whole way we think about it. And so think about it like a topographical map, and like every line on it's a road. Now, you wouldn't do that many roads. Although, who knows, maybe you have smaller alleyways and access points and things. But the bigger decision here, I think, is where you cross the barrancas. That's a really big one. And that's not too important, because we can fill as deep a barranca as we want. A barranca is a ravine. And we can fill that up as deep as we want to. 9:05. We said 9. He's late. Fucking Mexican. He's a gringo. But it's fun to say that. I've been called pinche gringo enough. Actually, that's not very common. It's only assholes that call me that. Most of them just call me a gringo. But even though on the map it doesn't look like there's that much detail to the slopes, there's a lot of slope here. Like, this is all slope in here. This is unwieldy slope. And I'm going to run a road from over there to over there. In fact, I need to walk up there and GPS that point. In fact, my GPS isn't even on yet. I'll wait till he gets here. I don't want to waste my batteries. Oh, did I bring my extra batteries? I think I did. I hear a bark. That's a good sign. Anyway, it's very exciting. It's exciting because forests are inherently exciting to me. There's mushrooms in here. There's wildlife. And if we set aside quite large, I think they should be quite large, the parks along the barrancas, so that we don't just have a park start at the edge of the barranca, but we have it go back a bit. And how far that... Oh, he's driving over here. Oh, yeah, that's right. He got a truck. I forgot. That's cool. Yeah, dude. You just park right here.
Okay.
We're gonna start here.
Okay.
Probably. Hi, doggin. Hi. You can have a fun time today. Yep. Yeah.
There you go.
Hi, guys. Let's play. Come on. Get away from the car. Go. Come on. Over here. Come on. Come on. Let's play. They're out of the way. All right. Well, this will be fun. It's also an excuse to get out and walk around a little bit, you know. Strengthen my legs up. They're still stiff. I need to limber up. All right, I'll see you later.